Hello, it is Sunday Funday again, yay! Yes, I am back with Sunday Funday, and exactly as I said last week, I saw Doctor Strange, and as you may notice, I am alone here. I am so alone. Sorry, Megan couldn't go with me because she had to go see, she had to go see work. She had to go see it. She didn't have to actually go, she just wanted to. No, she had to work today, so because of that, you are just putting up with me because she doesn't want to be spoiled on this, so she didn't want to be in this video at all. And I will take her next week, hopefully, to go see it. So I should have probably like 3 videos next week. Well, 4 technically, because you know I like splitting crap into parts. Especially when they're like, this video is like 4.5 hours long. Let's chunk that up. But yes, I should have Megan's opinions up next week. It just depends upon when we're able to see it. Because, of course, I'm going to go with her, because why not? And I am more than happy to go see Doctor Strange with her again, because it's actually a really good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I know people really like to give the Marvel Cinematic Universe a lot of crap. They're like, you're child of shame. Well, mostly that comes from DC fanboys. Let's just put it that way. These are the people who try to claim that DC can do no wrong. That no matter what, they always do the best job ever. These are probably people that still will give Catwoman a passing nod, despite the fact it is one of the worst comic book adaptations out there. Both in terms of character and actually like how good the movie is. But that's neither here nor there. But I do know that Marvel films, especially if you try to watch a whole bunch of them, it can begin to feel like, these are similar veins. There are similar contexts, you could say. This one, none of that. Doctor Strange is a fairly unique idea presented before us, because you're taking pretty much the idea behind Guardians of the Galaxy. Take a very obscure, in this case, just one single character, who really only like hardcore Marvel fans really know a whole lot about him. Even me, I am a fairly, I like to say, well-versed Marvel fan. Even I'm like, I don't know all Doctor Strange's lore. I know some. I know during the World War Hulk miniseries that happened, he got possessed by the power of Dormammu because it was the only way he could figure out how to defeat the Hulk, and it still wasn't enough. That was fun. But I actually have been looking forward to this movie for quite a while. Whenever they first announced it, and I was like, alright, that could be cool. I like to see mystical, because we've had space, we've had, in a way, fantastical in its own nature. Pardon me. I'm getting over a little bit of sickness, so I might be making like weird noises. Sorry, and I'm probably sounding a little stuffed up. I am all but over it. In fact, that's another reason why I was actually happy that Megan and myself didn't do this yesterday, because I was feeling better yesterday. I just was not 100% yet. But oh well. But yes, we have had fantastical, such as like Captain America, your Iron Man, your Incredible Hulks, and also that's also scientifical, in a way mythical as well. You've had your Thors and all that. Now we've really gotten into mystical. And I've always been intrigued by Marvel's more mystical stuff, simply because it's the one time in comic books where you need to just believe it. You cannot sit there and try and give it any kind of explanation. It just is. It's one of the issues I'm having currently with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the directions they've been going with it. It's the one reason I love the Ghost Rider movies. 2 much more than 1. Even though 1 I think is a good movie, I think it's a fairly flawed movie. The second one is a much better film. The Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance is so much damn fun. And it's so sad so many people hate it simply because the camera work's really jarring and a little weird. But if you watch Crank and all that, and you kind of, because it's done by the same directors and everything, you kind of get why it's that way. That's why I love the Ghost Rider movies. I've loved the Blade movies because I think they're just fun. They're just like, vampires. Put up with it. Alright, cool. I'll put up with it. So here you have Doctor Strange. Those who do not know the origins, this movie does explain the origin of Stephen Strange and how he went from a world-renowned neuroscientist all the way to becoming a master of the mystic arts. And honestly, this movie does a really good job of this. I sort of know Doctor Strange's background. I don't know a whole lot of it. I do know that he did injure himself, and that made it to where he was unable to really, do what he needs to do. Beyond that, I don't know. Jump cut. Sorry, Kitty was bugging me, so she's like, I want in here. I need to be in the video. So I was like, alright, that's sure. So you got a work cut there. But yes, I do know that much about Doctor Strange, that he traveled far and wide to try and figure out a way to heal himself because he couldn't perform surgeries anymore. And he became a sorcerer because of that. Beyond that, I couldn't tell you much else. But the movie does a fairly good job of explaining it all. To newcomers, re-explain it to people like me, who I've probably read this and I've seen this. Just, it's gone out of my brain. I forget shit because I'm stupid. Because same stuff happens here. We get introduction. Benedict Cumberbatch is this kind of cocky, House-like doctor in a way. I could tell they drew some inspirations from House, but he's not as big of an asshole as House in terms of when he starts out and he's on top. He's more... He does have asshole qualities, but it's never one where you're like, I can't see why anybody would be friends with him. Which is the thin line sometimes House travels along. It's like, I don't know why people like you. Beyond the fact you're really smart, beyond that, there's not a whole lot to it. Here, you can see the qualities that make him actually a nice guy. You can actually see why he probably went into medicine. And it also has to deal with the fact he is brilliant, which helps a lot. And it kind of explains some of the weird jumps sometimes in this movie. Because he's a neuroscientist, he gets injured, oh no, and his hands get messed up. And because he was, and they actually try to get like this very medical explanation. I'm like, I don't watch enough medical shows, and I don't know how right you are. Medicine's a little rusty on me. But pretty much he is unable to use his hands because his hands just constantly shake. Like he's Michael J. Fox or something. And all the known medicine can fix him throughout all this stuff. Which it is kind of weird because there's little references to different movies. Like there's reference to Captain America Civil War where you learn this does happen after it. Because they mentioned, hey, there's a 30-year-old or like 38-year-old colonel from the U.S. Air Force who got paralyzed in I can't remember how they explained. Pretty much just said like a mech suit accident. That's Colonel Rhodes there. I was like, then there is another one they're mentioning while he's talking to this person. In fact, that's why he wrecks, because one person has something happen to them that they get struck by lightning and somehow it affects their brain in a way that is different. I really want to say that actually some kind of a character that is in the comics. I can't remember though. To be fair, it's probably part of the rogues and also deal with more of the mystics and all that of Doctor Strange or other different people. I'm a little rusty. Like I said, I haven't read a comic in a while. But because of that, boom, he gets injured and nobody can fix him. So he turns to the mystic arts. He eventually tries to figure out a way. And he talks to this one guy who was able to start walking, so we get random Benjamin Bratt, because Benjamin Bratt needed money, I guess. So Benjamin Bratt's like, hey, where did he come from? I'm like, okay, so he's going to be semi-important later. Please don't tell me he's going to sleep with Halle Berry or chase her down while she's in the cat suit. It's going to be really weird and awkward. Thankfully, no. He's just pretty much the catalyst to try and get Stephen Strange to go and get help. He does this by meeting the Ancient One, Tilda Swinton, and who teaches him everything. From here on forth, the movie, once we eventually get to where we meet the Ancient One, Tilda Swinton, and we get introduction to, I think his name is Mundo. They pronounce it throughout the whole movie, and I'm sorry I'm going to butcher this poor gentleman's name. He is the guy from 12 Years a Slave, the main character. I am not. I would like to try and say I can pronounce his name. I can't. Because his name is African, so it's like, I am a stupid, white person. I can't pronounce shit. It's like, even white people names I can't pronounce right. It's like, okay, go on. But yes, he's there. He plays Barramundo. And those who do know about the comic books do know he's a villain. It has a lot of similarities here and there, I would say, between this and Green Lantern. And that's where I started to notice a few things. And I was a little worried because I'm like, okay, please don't tell me this is going to go down the Green Lantern route where he just suddenly starts learning all the mystic arts and everything. Where he learns how to use his powers somehow. And yes, but no. Green Lantern really didn't show it very well. It didn't show him really getting any better. He just magically was better. There was no connection between... It wasn't a very Rocky-esque moment. Throughout Stephen Strange's training, though, we actually do see him get better. We constantly see him learning different things. We learn that he has pretty much a photographic memory. He can memorize anything just about. He is able to read books in a single night, and these are like books that are written in Sanskrit or anything like that. It's very interesting. Sure, a lot of it is pretty much just fed to us. If anybody can try and, oh God, the movie just gives us the stuff. Yes, technically it does, in that way. Pardon me. Technically it does just give you the information. Some may say that is not very good storytelling. Here's the thing though. Otherwise, if you do similar to like with Green Lantern, where you don't give any bit of explanation of why they are better or how they're able to do this so easily, it's gonna come off like they just sure, I got it. But we don't see that progression. We don't understand that progression. Here you can actually see it, like you learn he's able to read some of these books so easily even while he's sleeping because he's able to project his astral form, which I do know is something in the comic books. It is something from even the X-Men series that they speak about and dealing with psychic stuff. I'm not getting into it. When I talk about X-Men series, I mean animated series. I know that was actually a big thing there, or off and on. So, we learn that he is actually easily able to read quickly, understand stuff very fast, and he's able to study and become more powerful quicker and quicker. He is desperately trying to figure out a way he can fix his hands, because that's the reason why he's actually there. But he actually begins to become more and more invested in actually fixing things, or helping out this society in the best way. They have a name, I can't remember, I'm sorry. I'll probably call it The Chase, even though it's not The Chase, because that's from, the Netflix series. And that's awesome. Not that this movie's not awesome, but I almost want to bridge the two. Because that's me. But anyway, we actually get to see him become better, and it feels like he actually is getting better. That is, like I said, one of the key differences between this and Green Lantern. There are a lot of similarities. Just like with Mark Strong playing Sinestro, who we do know in the comic books was originally Green Lantern, then turned to become Yellow Lantern because of his own pride and everything. He began to feed off of this and that. Oh, other issue. And even though in the movie they're like, yeah, he just becomes evil just to become evil. Thanks. Similar thing, I'm going to go ahead and, if y'all don't want me to spoil any more of the movie than I already have, go ahead and skip forward. I will try to give y'all like a rough time frame and down in the description. Or you can just stop it right here and I'll just let you know, yes, go see this movie. And I'll give you a score. If you're really worried about it, you can message me and I'll give you a score or something. I'll tell you, like, hey, yeah, this is why I gave it as a score. No, not spoiled in it at any bit at all. But yes, like I said, Mark Strong in Green Lantern, good guy throughout it, then bad guy in the end credit thing. Similar situation here, where Mondo he is actually a good guy, though here, where instead of Sinestro just going, I want to be evil for the sake of evils, here, he is tired of seeing the magic, because he believes that it's only supposed to be used for order, and you're not supposed to abuse it for this or that. He's tired of seeing people abusing it for their own gain, or just using it to corrupt this order. And that actually kind of speaks to his character, because throughout the entire thing, we're constantly seeing Mondo, he's going, he is for the order, he's here he wants to keep peace and all this and that, at the expense of even killing people. He's more than willing to kill people simply to keep this order and keep the unnaturalness away. It's kind of telling why he would become evil. And there's a lot of evidence where you say, yeah, I'd see why this guy would become evil. It's not like with Mark Strong's character in Green Lantern, where they didn't do that very well. It's just like he just became evil simply because the script said he needed to be the next bad guy in Green Lantern 2. That never happened. Here, it's like what it should have been. It should have been Mark Strong had the ring on and got to experience its power, and it corrupted him. That would have actually been a unique thing. That would have been cool. Instead, they're just like, he was going to make the ring and put it on. He just never did. Ha ha ha. Okay, cool. Neato. But yeah, Mondo is actually a very interesting character. The gentleman who plays him, he is always great in just about everything he ever does. So he's just awesome throughout this. You get Tilda Swinton in this. He. People are like, yeah, it should have been a he, because Ancient One was actually played by a man in Tibetan, and they decided not to change it. To be fair, they kind of actually touch upon that. In fact, they even touch upon the fact why Tilda Swinton speaks with her normal accent, and explains she's actually Celtic, which is kind of interesting. And also would explain like why she's more into mystic arts, because the Celts were very big into magical stuff. Pardon me. So, hey, I can put up with it, and I'm willing to let people change characters' sex and race, and it's not a big deal. Like, I didn't care the fact that Barramundo, who is actually a white, evil, like, weird-looking dude in the comics, he's a black guy. I don't care. Especially since we have such a great actor playing him, so I could easily put up with it with no problems whatsoever. And here, Benedict Cumberbatch, technically you have a British guy playing an American actor, playing an American, and here he does a fantastic job. Sure, some of it can be seen as almost kind of house-ish at the beginning, but afterwards, when he actually gets to his training and he starts becoming a better Green Lantern member, you really care for him. You really get to like him, even though he is still a bit of an arrogant prick, but you get why he's so arrogant. You can kind of understand and sympathize with it in its own right. Now, if there is any issue I can say with this movie, beyond the obvious comparisons that constantly kind of crop up with Green Lantern, though I will say, unlike Green Lantern, where we had Peter Skarsgård, no, not Peter Skarsgård, I can't remember his name. It's gonna bug me, but pretty much the guy who had the big head, who was infected by Parallax. Yeah, Parallax. In this, we do have a guy who's pretty much infected by the power of Dormammu. Dormammu is a extra-dimensional being who controls his own kind of universe outside of space and time. Especially outside of our normal space and time. He's usually represented as a big, like, fire creature. Here they actually do it, I think, a little bit better, because always the fire thing always made me think way too much that he's supposed to be like an allegory to the devil, but Mephisto is. But so Dorama sometimes used that way as well, and hell is actually a thing, and then there's hella. I don't know. It's a big confusing mess in the comic books. Trying to break it down makes no sense. Here they actually he's a space thing. He's a extra dimensional, multi-dimensional thing that we can't possibly try to actually explain. Just accept this, and okay, you gotta accept it. And that's fine. I'm fine with having something that is totally within my, or without my it's outside of my capability to properly explain or properly understand without it coming into my face. That's perfectly fine. I'm cool with that. Pardon me. Still a little sick, like I said. Ugh. So, even though he's infecting this guy, the gentleman from Hannibal, the only issues I can have with the fact that, or with the villains here, it's not Dormammu. Dormammu always feels like this constant threat. He feels like a looming just menace there. And honestly, unlike Parallax, who was just easily defeated, it's like, well, why did y'all have so much issues defeating him? Like in Green Lantern, here, Benedict Cumberbatch has to use all his intelligence to be able to figure out a way to defeat him, and has to really delve deep into the mystic arts to figure out a way. And it just like dawns on him. He's like, oh, he has his house moment, and then he's able to defeat Dormammu. I'm not going to explain exactly how he defeats him, or how he even defeats the other bad guy, who's actually the main bad guy, who is the gentleman who was in Hannibal. He was actually Hannibal Lecter in that show. Sorry, I don't remember the guy's name. It escapes me, and I will never remember it. But in the whole trailers, you see him. He has like this black stuff around his eyes. But in the actual movie, it's actually kind of gray, and it's got like purplish and black, because that's actually how Dormammu's eyes look. Which is a unique thing. I'm like, alright, that's actually kind of cool. It's showing his influence coming right out through him. That was one of the things I actually liked about, from Green Lantern, the villain there, who was all he had was just, he had telepathy. There, it's like you could see his influence beyond, obviously, like the big head, which just made him look like he had a giant lima bean for a face for some reason. But also, like, the yellow eyes really hinted at it, and I like that, but mostly their shit was terrible. Here, this guy is evil already. He doesn't need this other influence to make him evil-er. And in fact, him becoming eviler, more willing to kill, is not because of influence. It's actually simply because of his own lust for power. Which is nice. We actually have a villain who has, unlike in Green Lantern, he's just magically made evil. He's just, he's a villain now because he has powers. Because power's corrupt, absolutely. He's like, well, what about Hal Jordan then? Well, hey, trying to say a jock's better than the nerd? Seriously, come on now. Yeah, no, that's a small, minor gripe I have with that whole movie. Amongst many things with Green Lantern. Here, it's not the villain is not well developed. Well, he is slightly not very well developed. He is given like a little bit, and he's explained, and he comes off as a menace. He comes off as really a threat at times. Not just a menace. But he chews that scenery hard, and he's in this movie a whole lot. And that's one of the issues that Marvel's always had, is being able to figure out the right amount of time to devote towards a villain. Like, I believe Ultron was a good amount of time devoted to the villain. Loki in Avengers 1, great amount of time to devote to the villain. Thor 2 had some of the issues, somewhere that are present here in Doctor Strange, in the fact that there's not a whole lot of time to be able to devote to the villain. But to be fair, in Thor 2, it was more just about him just trying to get revenge. Iron Man 3 had a different issue. It's a whole other kettle to try and cook and figure out why they did what they did, but not going to get into that one. And Iron Man 2 even had where it's like, we would have liked to see more Mickey Rourke doing stuff and actually being destructive, but we didn't quite get as much as we wanted. Oh well. But anyway, at least here, though, the villain constantly feels like a threat. That is the one thing I can say they're finally starting to really get through, even if they do still have an issue about putting enough time to this villain. Though, to be fair, I wouldn't want him to just be like going on and on about, you know, I'm going to rule the world, or I'm going to do this and everything. He is there, he's threatening, he just doesn't do a whole lot. But to be fair, how powerful they really make him to be, and how strong they make it, I can get why they had to pull it back a bit. Like I said, that could be the biggest issue I can think with this movie. Because beyond that, the writing is really damn good. It fixes the issues that Green Lantern originally did. Sure, a lot of this you can say very Green Lantern-esque in a way, but one, I think this is a lot more imaginative of a movie than I have seen so far from Marvel. Nothing against Marvel. Just this movie really has a lot of fun. Like, there are just some shots you're like, whoa, God. I really want to see this in 3D simply because I want to see how these shots will look. I'm not sure if it was all post 3D. If it was, damn, that's going to suck dick. Or if it's actually good 3D that was done the entire time. Also, we just get some good mentions of some random stuff also that pulls up during, or from other comic books. Sorry, comic book movies. Like, we get Captain America Civil War, we get Avengers references. And also, I love the mid-credit sequence. That one sets up another movie that's going to be coming up soon. And I'm so looking forward to it even more now. Especially considering what I already know about this movie. I'm not even going to spoil it for you. Those of you who've seen it know what I'm talking about, though. So yeah, biggest issues, a bit of a Green Lantern rehash, but it's Green Lantern done right. Like I said, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, this does have some elements that Green Lantern did, such as it has the faster him learning stuff. Here, though, we actually get a reason why he's able to learn this quickly. We get to see it actually in action. We understand with him, and also we sympathize with him. He also has chemistry with the leading lady, and by the end of it, he doesn't end up with her. He actually purposely tries to stay away from her, or because of his own attitude that he did wrong by her, and that's actually kind of admirable. It's like, hey, y'all realize that a character doesn't have to be defined by who they end up with. That's the reason why I hate whenever people have to say, it's like, well, they have to be with somebody. Or Wonder Woman has to be bisexual. She doesn't have to be anything. She can be whatever she wants to be. That's the reason why we don't have to define these people. That's the reason why I hate that idea that we have to. Sorry, mini rant there. But also the other issue, the main villain is not insanely well developed, but or not really that he's not well developed, he just doesn't do a whole lot beyond just being threatening and eventually pulling off certain threatening stuff. But yeah, beyond that, or other than that, this movie's got great acting throughout the entire thing. I constantly loved it. I was laughing throughout the whole thing because it's the one thing I'm going to keep jabbing little Whataburgers about this that they don't seem to get. Let the movie be naturally funny. Let the character say something that'd be funny. Let them do something that would at least be goofy in the good situation. That's the reason why, like, the only part I laughed at in all of Batman v Superman was whenever Batman was about to get blasted by Doomsday, and he was, oh shit. Okay, that one was actually kind of funny, just because it felt like a thing anybody else would say, and we can relate to that. We can relate. We're like Batman. Even though he's got billions of dollars, and I don't. But anyway, here, like I said, good humor, good writing, very, very beautiful looking movie. I want to see this in 3D. In fact, I almost would say, hey, go see this in 3D. But I will reserve that for next week when I actually give my opinions on the 3D, which hopefully we will see. So, all in all, if I can give this movie anything, I would give it a 9. I feel really good at a 9. It's not a perfect Marvel movie. It has a few issues, but the issues are very minor. At best, maybe they'll bug you for a little bit. Like, they bugged me for a grand total of like 2 minutes throughout this whole movie. And it's a 2-hour-long movie. It's like, and I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying the crap out of this. It was fun. I enjoyed the hell out of this. This is a movie I would easily want to own as soon as it comes out. So, hey, I am enjoying this. I've actually had good movies for the past few weeks. I'm so happy. Not enough words to describe how happy I am to finally have good movies. I'm like, yay! Because next week, I am either going to have a movie I'm actually looking forward to that I hope will be decent, or I got an Ang Lee movie. I don't have a middle ground. I don't even have something I can go instead of this. So, next week, hopefully, we will have The Arrival, and it won't be dead. If not, we're going to have Ang Lee jerking off on the camera for 3 hours. Ugh. Or not, just go see Doctor Strange again. Yeah, so, till then, everybody, I will see you all later.